Hi everyone, Anne Keogh here from PSI. I'm going to talk today about navigating relationships in these challenging and crazy times. There isn't a house in the country or the world, for that matter, my own included, that isn't impacted by the COVID-19 situation. Everything is changing or has changed, and many of us are spending so much more time at home, juggling kids, working from home, and caregiving for elderly relatives, and the anxiety we have in general about our current situation. So with that in mind, it can prove challenging for our own relationships on many different levels. I suppose initially we moved from that huge stage of shock, and many of us now are moving into a stage of adjustment. So getting used to these new demands and managing that as we go. Everybody is learning as they go on this. I suppose some people maybe who worked from home in advance are maybe winning with this already, but many of us, it's brand new to us to kind of juggle this in our lives from home. So it does bring about challenges to our relationships and how we manage them. So if we look at the research on adjustment and trauma, a lot of it focuses on managing yourself and grounding yourself and self-care. And with that in mind, levels of anxiety are high for everyone. So many of our loved ones are greatly impacted. Their anxiety is high for children, it's high for everyone in general. And different people will manage that in different ways. So some people, when they're anxious, may lose sleep, may lose their appetite. Others may have trouble concentrating. Others may become irritable or very frustrated with maybe something that seems like a petty thing, but actually they're just really struggling with their position in managing anxiety currently. And so it can be as simple as in looking after yourself so that you manage yourself within the relationships that you're in, taking a break. So knowing when you've had too much, knowing when you're juggling too much, or when this new juggle is becoming overwhelming. And that's really up to each of us to identify for ourselves. Ordinarily we'd have breaks in our day, for example, on our commute to or from work, to think about and reflect on things, or in meeting people in work, in different meeting arrangements or in sessions. So we don't have that anymore. So people who are really missing that, or anyone, we're not used to having to navigate boundaries when everything is happening within the confines of our home. So it's really important to take a break. If people are becoming overwhelmed in the juggling of these demands, taking a break. Now that can be challenging to do in the confines of a home that's shared with other people. So it could be very simple, and for each person identifying what suits them, like maybe going to your car, sitting in your car for a while, sitting in a bathroom or a quiet bedroom with music on, really just taking time in your day to have time without the needs and demands of others, because you would have had that before this situation, and using that to kind of regulate ourselves. Boundaries will have to be renegotiated. So many people have worked out their life and their arrangements using the boundaries that were in place beforehand, like childcare or a commute to work, whereas now that's different. So I think it's an onus on each individual to be very clear with what they need and navigate that. So this is a new dance. We're all learning as we go. We kind of have to allow for the learning rates of others who may be under great pressure or very anxious at this time. So kindness is needed, patience is needed, and very often like a break or a time out from a discussion. Making time to discuss what each maybe member of a partnership needs, what the kids need, what elderly people we're caring for need, and then coming up with the rules and boundaries on that. So sharing care and making clear what people need to be able to continue to work at home, to be able to continue to mind elderly relatives or kids. So the same release valves we would have normally had in our lives, be that fun at the weekends or getting away from it all or socialising with friends or exercising, they have been greatly changed. So it's okay to need a break, it's okay to need social contact, and it's really about being creative about how you get that. So can that be achieved in an online medium, or do you need to maybe work out some other way of contacting and keeping in touch and getting your exercise, getting your rest time? And people are tired. You know, we're not used to living our lives, many of us are not used to living our lives with such a high level of anxiety. Some people live with anxiety ordinarily, others this is brand new, so we're all getting used to that. Again, it's important to be kind, find what grounds you, and you know, keeping an eye on each other, checking in with each other, making sure people are doing okay. So for more on this and a wide range of resources that the Psychological Society of Ireland have put together, go to www.psychologicalsociety.ie.